guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So today I'm going to go over my trip to Egypt with my boyfriend and our friend, and I'm going to go through the 10 tips that I think you should know before you go to Egypt. So one of the first things you are going to need to know is that you need to get an e-visa. So you can sign up for this online. You also need to have a passport that is not going to expire within 6 months of you traveling to Egypt. There is a fee to do this, and if I remember correctly, there was also a visa entry fee to enter for $25. I could be wrong on that. The whole trip is kind of blurry to me a little bit right now as far as that stuff goes, but you can always check the entry requirements for Egypt just doing a Google search. Also, I did get my yellow fever vaccine before I went. I'm not sure if it's required or not, but I did go ahead and get that. So the second tip I have for you guys is you want to make sure that you bring extra cash with you. You want to have enough cash so that you can exchange for money there. And also tipping is very prevalent in Egypt. Pretty much anything you do, everybody expects a tip. So you just want to make sure you have enough money for that. The third thing I would recommend would be to hire a travel company. So the company that we used was called Egypt Tailor Made, and I will link their information below in case you guys are interested in planning a trip. But they did pretty much everything for us. They sent us an itinerary so we could go through it, see if we wanted to make any changes to it. They were very accommodating. They made sure that we had an English-speaking guide that picked us up from the airport, brought us to our Airbnb. They arranged all car travel for us, took us to different food places. They took us to all the sites. They made sure that we were always taken care of. They were wonderful. I highly recommend. Yasmin and Mansour were our travel guides, and they were just wonderful. Also in this, we did use them obviously for all of our land travel. I would not recommend renting a car. I could tell the chaos as soon as we got into the car from the airport to take us to our Airbnb of the driving in Cairo. It didn't seem like they had any rules or laws or anything. People were driving crazy, really fast, without their lights on. I think at one point, I didn't take a video of it, but I think at one point I saw 3 people on a motorcycle, and like one of them was a child. So it was kind of crazy, but I would definitely not rent a car in Egypt. Definitely go with a tour company, and definitely don't rent a car. Also, Egypt Tailor Made went through the history and the cultural significance of all of the sites that we saw. That way we weren't just walking aimlessly into these places and looking at the hieroglyphics and wondering what they meant. They all had meaning, and it was very interesting. And I'm not like a history person per se. I'm not really that interested in that type of thing, and they made it very enjoyable and easy to understand and pointed out so many things that were super interesting. They also make you aware of the customs in Egypt and what to avoid or what to be aware of. They also helped us when locals would come up to us and try to sell us things. There's also a lot of bribery and scams out in the streets of Egypt, so you just want to be careful and aware, and it was so nice to have our guides with us to help us through those scenarios. Speaking of scams and bribery, I wanted to show you a backpack that I used when I went to Egypt. So this is the backpack I used. It is by the brand PackSafe, and this is their smaller backpack. I'll put a link below on Amazon for them. However, I found the larger one, so I have this one. And I also have this one, and this one's just the larger size of the exact same bag. And I got the larger one, this one, on the Amazon or the PackSafe website, I think is around $100. And then I just happened to be at Sierra Trading Post, and they had this big one for $30 on clearance. So I snatched that one up because this bag is wonderful. So I highly recommend it, especially if you're going to a different country. So what it is the entire bag, it has a material that's called Eco Mesh. The entire bag has inside of it like a wire coating. So if somebody tries to cut or slash your bag, they can't do it. Also, every exterior pocket, I should say, has these clasps that lock. So that way the culprit who is trying to take your things can't do it, or it's very hard for them to do it. And then also what I like about it is the bottom, this part right here, there's like a little clasp right there that comes undone that you can actually take off one of the straps here and attach it to a chair or a table or anything sturdy that's by you so it doesn't get stolen. It's very lightweight, and it has the back part right here is cushioned, and I was super comfortable with it the entire time. I used it the whole time in Egypt. I'm going to play a quick video after this of our trip and all the excursions we went on, and you'll see that I was carrying it the entire time. The smaller one has two pockets. It has the exterior smaller pocket right here that has a couple of pockets inside of it. The larger one is exactly the same, it just has a little bit bigger pockets. So the smaller pocket here, it has a pocket in here, it has a place for a pen, and then another RFID pocket here actually to put your wallet or passport or anything. And then the bigger pocket has a large inside and then a pocket right here for your laptop or your Kindle. And then these two side compartments here are for your water, or I just put my little umbrella in here. And then, like I said, the bigger one is exactly the same. It's just, you know, I don't know what sizes they are, but I don't know if you can tell. Here's the smaller one and here's the larger one. So highly recommend those if you can find those on sale, even better. Okay, and obviously on the whole kind of safety thing, we didn't go outside after nightfall. So the guys went down the street once to get pizza by themselves, and I stayed at the hotel, but for the majority of the time, we just hung out at our Airbnbs and didn't travel outside unless we were with our tour guides at night. Number 4, tipping is huge there. I don't know if I just said that or not, but pretty much everybody expects a tip in Egypt, so that's another reason why you want to have plenty of cash on you when you leave so you can exchange it in Egypt when you go. Like if you get pictures taken with anything like on the camel rides, whoever takes your picture there is going to expect a tip. Number 5, we try to stay among the locals wherever we travel. It's just a totally different experience. If you are traveling to another country, if you stay in a hotel like the Hyatt or Four Seasons or wherever you stay, as opposed to staying with locals or at an Airbnb where the locals are right there and able to help you, answer any questions you have, take you around. It's just a different experience. So we stayed at an Airbnb, and you'll see it in my clip after this, that overlooked the pyramids. The pyramids were right there. We didn't have anything obstructing our view. It's so nice. And it was an apartment complex, and the owner lived in the apartment complex also, obviously in another apartment, but he was right downstairs from us, and they would serve us breakfast every day, and he invited us to his apartment, and we had a couple drinks and chit-chatted with him. It was very nice. He told us different things to see, different things not to see. They just give you a different view of the area as opposed to just talking with maybe a concierge at a hotel. And that's kind of another thing I always recommend, like try to stay among the locals if you can. Number 6, the weather when we went was in the 60s and 70s, so I was perfectly comfortable wearing light jeans and long sleeve breathable t-shirts. So the t-shirts I brought were just the Pima cotton ones from the Gap, the boat neck tees, and I just had a couple pairs of cheaper jeans from TJ Maxx that I brought in case they got ruined. And as far as shoes, I brought a pair of hiking shoes, and I had my Sorel wedge boots, which you'll see me wearing in the video as well, and I was perfectly comfortable the entire time I was there. Also, that brings me to the point, you want to dress conservatively when you go to Egypt. So it's a very conservative country. You don't want to wear short shorts and a tube top or something like that, or a short skirt. It's very conservative and you just want to be respectful. Number 7, do not drink the water. At our Airbnbs and with Egypt TaylorMade in the cars, we always had bottled water. There was one time that I got sick, and I don't know if it was because I was brushing my teeth and used the tap instead of the bottled water to rinse off my toothbrush, and it wasn't dry the next time I used it. I kind of think that's what I did, and I definitely think it was my fault, and that it wasn't something, you know, at a restaurant or something where I got it, but I was definitely sick for the last couple days we were in Egypt, where I couldn't leave. I just was in the bathroom the entire time, and I'll just leave it at that. So just be careful, use bottled water, don't drink the tap. Number 8, it's a good idea to leave all your expensive camera equipment at home. So our friend is a professional photographer and producer, and he had called ahead of time to kind of arrange, because he wanted to film our trip in Egypt, and he called ahead and made arrangements, and they did kind of let him know ahead of time that he may run into some issues with camera equipment, because the people in Egypt don't really like being filmed, especially if it looks like it's something for a professional reason, I guess. So my recommendation would be just bring your phone. You have a good camera on that most likely, or just bring your, like my filming camera that I use is just the Sony ZV-1. Just bring like a regular vlogging camera, nothing that's going to stand out too much, that's a little bit more discreet. Number 9, there is a heavy military presence in Egypt. It's just for everybody's safety. It's I felt even more comfortable with them around. I actually have a picture in the film that I'll show you right after this that I took with 3 of the military personnel that led us into another part of the country. They just do that just for the protection of everybody, and it just, like I said, it made me feel better. But just so you know, there is a heavy military presence, and they're only there for your safety. And then number 10, you want to make sure you bring earplugs. So I have also in the video, you guys will see a lot in the video coming up, but there in Egypt, they do the call to prayer. And if I remember correctly, I think it was some days it was in the morning, some days at night, some days it was both. And it was throughout the day. I remember it being pretty early in the morning a couple times, and then it was late at night a couple times, which was cool. Our Airbnb was right across the street from one of the places where a lot of the people gathered and joined in the call to prayer. So you guys will see that ahead, but if you're trying to take a nap or go to sleep, you just want to make sure you have earplugs with you because it is pretty loud. Also, as far as medications, I would bring stomach, like not like a Pepto-Bismol. I don't even know what I brought. Actually, I don't think I brought anything. I had to get something from one of the pharmacies in Egypt for my stomach, which I didn't end up taking anyway. Eventually, whatever was there went away on its own, but you might want to bring something to calm your stomach if you do happen to get an upset stomach. And then bring extra Kleenex. So when you use the facilities in Egypt, their sewer system cannot handle the same amount of things we put down our toilets in the United States. So when you go use the facilities, if there is somebody at the public ones, which they're restroom attendants, they'll hand you 1 or 2 little squares of toilet paper, and that's what you have to go on. Also, you don't want to flush toilet paper down the toilets, and there's signs all over. You put it in the garbage can because their sewer systems just aren't as, I don't want to say advanced. I don't want to make it sound like it's bad there, but anyway, you just want to be careful. So I just always would bring like a couple extra Kleenex in my bag in case I needed those as well. And then don't forget to tip the restroom attendants. So now I'm going to show you guys the video of our trip. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you at the end. me, it was a once-in-a-lifetime trip. I don't know if I'll ever be back to Egypt. There's so many other places I want to see, but it was a really fun trip. So cool. I hope you guys get to go. If you do, leave me a comment below. Let me know how it was. Also, if you like this video, check out this next one where I traveled to Seward, Alaska with my boyfriend and our friends. I hope you guys enjoyed that one as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.